Vintage speakers. These are Klipsch. And let me take a look again, because I'm retarded. KLF-10. Oh God, she's coming. Do you know the cameras? This is an official video going on the big site. The big channel, baby. Yeah, what? What? I've been up for 2 hours yelling. Why are you here now? Yes, I do have those. Heresy 4s. I'm not stopping this to help you. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new home. There's echo problems in this space, which is good because until I fix that, we get to test acoustics differences. What? You have to poop? What is your... Okay. Show me. I'll walk with you. Come on. Where are we going? Maybe it's just love. I'm gonna review these with you in my arms because this is the best thing. She loves the house, by the way. So these are a vintage pair of Klipsch, and these were their flagship line, I think in the 90s. I can't actually give you 90. There was a year where the glue failed and they all fell apart. And this was not from that year. This is like after they fixed that problem. And this is the 10, and Klipsch made the 10, the 20, and the 30. And I think both the other ones were 12-inch drivers, or maybe the 20 was also 10s, but they added a tweeter here, because we've got his, oh, I'm gonna fall down. We've got a horn, an old school plastic Klipsch horn. We've got interesting coned 10-inch, actually rather soft. And on the back, a single set of terminals. It's a laptop holder right now. A single set of terminals and a whomping big bass port that goes about that deep. And they come permanently affixed with spikes out the floor. And they're supposed to be caps that like screwed on or just like stuck on so that you could take them and you could leave like without the points digging into your wooden floor. And they all break off because it's vintage. And I don't remember how much these cost when they were new. Future Zeos, or the later half of this video, I'm gonna have the owner of these because I didn't buy these. Guy who helped me move, guy from where I was, had me come up here, and he was willing to bring these up, carry them into my house, put them on the floor, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. Because I mean, towers. How does she know? How do you know, baby? I'm gonna do tuber cam. And he was willing to bring them here. Oh, Jesus, she's gonna swim into my face. Oh, God, gentle old lady. And let me listen to them. Now, they have not been brought down the basement. This is not where I prefer listening to speakers for reasons. But honestly, before these speakers, the Elms were the best sounding thing up here. I had my Heresies here. I was like doing the whole fireplace thing, and I was like, oh yeah, fireplace, speakers, look at the fucking classy that looks. They don't sound that good up here. I had the floors. If you're watching the unboxing channel, you've been to this house before. If this is your first visit, hello? Move to the country, everybody. You get lots of house for not very little money, but less. But I was trying to make these work, and these would not work. And then these work tremendously well. Well enough that I'm actually gonna contact Klipsch and see if they'll send me the modern equivalent of this, which is their like 7 series, RPF 7, RLMF, whatever. I think it's also dual 10s. I don't think it's 12s. I think it's dual 10s with their modern equivalent horn. Now, I'm gonna sit down in the chair that came with the house with my evil cat. See, I'm doing the Dr. Evil impression right now, Chewbacca, and you're the evil cat that indicates I'm evil. And we'll hit next track, which I have the TV up there. It's not my TV, and it's coming off there. I hate that. I hate where that is and what it is. It's a big old Sony. But, oh. I may have to pause it so it doesn't get categorized, although I think the echo might be fucking with it hard enough. Now, the owner says he uses these in an 8-foot triangle, and he thinks he's underpowering them. And I'm like, they're so efficient. I'm using the Art Aquila 2 as my preamp for these, because I'm using the little Emotiva monoblocks, which are like 250, 300 watts per channel. The efficiency on these is like 96. I've got that down like 40 decibels, and I'm still controlling the volume there. We're currently at like -4 decibels. So I'm cutting so much signal away, because these little monoblocks would probably light these on fire. And that's what Klipsch has always been known for. They're just the super most efficient speakers that have ever existed ever. Oh God, we're getting the full walkover. Is this what you want? I'm gonna clone myself, kill my clone, and you can just dance in his corpse the entire rest of your life, of his world before he decays. Come on. I'm being professional here. Although this cat's probably responsible for me buying this house. Because without her, no one would even give a shit about this channel, right? Right? Go show them the trick you learned, where you go up in the mezzanine and scream. I really like these speakers. Not many people have brought me like a used, I would say vintage, and 90s certainly doesn't sound vintage. 90s sounds like, oh crap, home theater speakers. I'm sure everyone in the comments is gonna be like, oh, Zeus in the 90s was the best year for this because this was this. But these really are the first ones that I've heard that I'm actually interested in possibly owning a set. He got these for 300 bucks on eBay, Craigslist. I think he had the local pickup, because why the fuck would you try to ship these? That's the only problem, is you can't find a set. And then the 20s and 30s are, the 30s are like a foot higher than this. These are not small. I mean, the big space is sort of throwing you off, but that's 2 10s and a pretty large horn. That's bigger than like a half sheet of paper. And they're deep, and they're like 60 pounds a piece. And the big ones are 100 pounds a piece, and 12s. And you can't find a good set. Although if you search them on like Google Images, someone redid the cabinets with like white maple, and it's just gorgeous. So I'm gonna probably contact Klipsch. I have a contact at Klipsch. I'm gonna be like, hey, I've got a different space that could probably use, you know, a really tall speaker. Because I mean, everyone's like, are you gonna get Klipsch horns? Are you gonna get, oh, what's the other giant ones? Like, you're needy as fuck. Cats are great training for women. Or men, I don't know, whatever you're into. But whatever it is, they're gonna be the needy one. They're gonna be the needy one. Rub my butt. So up here, I'm getting, and this is a first. I had, what else? I had the Heresies. I have the Swan M3As upstairs in the mezzanine. There's a mezzanine, by the way. And it's referred to as a mezzanine because all the sides are open above my massive kitchen. I bought the house because it's a kitchen with a house around it. It's a roof on a kitchen. I probably did a house tour. I'm not sure. Everyone keeps asking for a house tour. And I'm not sure if that came out on this channel beforehand or if you're not going to get one for privacy reasons. But I mean, I'm going to end up filming here. It's my fucking house. Best girls over the fireplace. Until someone tells me not to. We're going to move these down the basement in a bit. And I'm going to do some more assessing. Because the basement is concrete floors, concrete walls. But the ceiling, AKA this floor, is, you know, 2x12s filled with insulation. So there's no reflections. And you're like, oh, concrete's bad. But when the nearest wall is all the way back there, which is the entire footprint of the house's basement, the reflection that would normally hit you here, then it would bounce off the wall and hit you again, that's bad. But when the wall's 40 feet behind you, that doesn't happen. So the acoustics in the basement are superb, and it was the reason I was able to say, I'm gonna buy this house. Because you can't buy a house that has this for acoustics by default. I changed those lights, by the way, to LED because they were, These are impactful forward speakers. I'm not gonna finish, I don't wanna, I'm trying to do final thoughts and I'm not done with this review. This is the first half of this review. We're gonna do basement next and you're gonna have a stark change in scenery and feel. And I haven't had spiders because I left all the lights on for the last week. But yeah, up here, these are the best sounding things in this room. The ohms do something different. Obviously, I have them against the glass doors and they shoot like, but when you buy a set of ohms, like the Walshes here, they ask you specifically, what's the volume of your room? And in my old apartment, it was 15 feet deep, 18 and a half feet wide with almost 9-foot ceilings. And they're like, all right, we're gonna send you the Ohm Walsh 2000s, review those. When we went to RMAF, they knew we were gonna have a larger room. They sent us the Ohm Walsh 3000s, which were a 10-inch. Instead of that's an 8-inch, 10-inch. When I send them the dimensions of this place, it's gonna be like, hold on, let us send you something we don't even currently make yet. Actually, they do make a 5000. So let's see if they send me the 5000. Because right now, these are winning. These old speakers for 300 bucks in the standard black ash cabinet sound the best. And they sound the best throughout. It's like if I walk behind the kitchen there, they still sound the best because they're just projecting so much forward aggressive sound that it's overcoming. Like I could turn them up loud enough that the echo doesn't even like, you can't hear the echo because the speakers are too loud. That's epic score, so I could probably play that without getting pulled.
Have you thought a little more about what you might want for your birthday?
Can I get a puppy?
You want to get a dog?
That's Nicolas Cage, by the way, who always sounds perfect in any room.
Yeah, a cuddly fluffy one. And a Bratz movie star makeover Sasha.
Interstellar, oh, it's too long. Like right there, that like dun 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 dun. 4 10-inch drivers firing in your general direction tends to make you feel it. So now I'm interested, real interested when we go down to the more deadened basement with these tonight when the owner's here and he can carry them. Because again, I have the space now to, well, I'm still cleaning up, but I have the space to review large speakers. I mean large. I mean as large as you could fit through those double doors and walk around from the driveway and just bring in Wilson audios. In fact, stack Wilson audios double high. But I don't want to carry that shit. So if you're willing to come with old speakers and carry them into my house, well, then maybe I'll be willing to listen to them. Or I have to get a slave. Not a real slave, like a robot slave. That's what Robotnik stands for in Czech. Why do you keep looking at me? What is it about my face? The whole internet doesn't even know my face, and you're just like, I need to see your face. All right, we're gonna do this cool fade where I put my face against the cat and then we resume in the basement either tonight or tomorrow, depending if the guy wants to let me leave the speakers here. Ready? Whoa. If you refuse me, honey, you lose me. This seat is cold. Who thought metal seats were good? Well, I guess I'm wearing pajamas. You bad spider. You bad. I'll kill you in a minute. Anyway, we're back now down in my basement. For those of you who don't know the basement, you haven't seen the yard sale video. And thanks to insulation in the ceiling everywhere and the walls being very, very far away. Away! Away! You hear the reverberation in the poles more than you hear anything else. And cement and the rug from upstairs, which is, you could see why I put the rug, it's ugly as shit, but it's a rug. So now we've got these speakers again, and we're in a much better environment as far as like listening. You could hear just the sound of my voice. It's better. And I'm running these very efficient speakers off the SMSL DA8S, which is a little, and I'm running off Bluetooth. I'm Bluetoothing from my phone. We've got some Westworld. Season 2, Virtù e Fortuna, playing through that via Bluetooth and powering these speakers, and I could sit down back on that cold ass seat. It's so cold. Ugh. I could tell you because I've been down here for a while. Should I point this up a little more? There you go. Maybe a little up. Up. Good. That what the upstairs echo chamber was doing was hiding a little bit of that, like, sharpness. The old school Klipsch ooh is here, down here. Because up there, that old school Klipsch sharpness was cutting through the echo, and you were able to get the detail. But down here, it's a little bit, and it's not a lot.
I wanna take you on a roller coaster.
Wait. Yeah, no, the cymbals are just like, And that's where things like the RP150M and the RP160M and all the modern Klipsch stuff beat these. Is they learned to control that horn. I guarantee you took this horn and you took it out and you removed the compression driver from the back of it, and then you sprayed it with what the hell is that stuff you spray tools with? Plastidip, like a rubberized coating. If you rubberize that horn, just do that, you'd probably help a little bit. Or take a piece of cotton ball like I did. You could see the cotton ball in my 590s that are sitting there. Just it needs to be down a little, just a fucking little bit needs to go down. But there's no dual point. Did I even look at the back of these speakers when we were upstairs? Any spiders in my face? No? Only one point. Only one connection. No switch. I was hoping with an old school set of Klipsch like these, they would have, well, I mean, you gotta go back to the old school set of Klipsch where they have knobs and switches to control things on crossovers. These need a 4 decibel cut. 4 decibels. That's not a lot, but it's not a little on the treble. So that, because it's the same as the Heresies. The Heresies, which are brand new, my Heresy 4s, sound perfect at moderate volumes. Moderate. And moderate by a normal person's standards. As soon as Zio sits down and he's like, hey, I want to watch this fucking scene, whoop! The treble just belts you. And I fixed that by mini DSP, multiple amplifiers, disconnecting, building custom wires to disconnect the top and the bottom. I made it so that I could run it quiet, perfect, and then loud, perfect. And these, no matter what volume we're at, are just a little too bright in a controlled room. And I count this as a controlled room. Look, that's a pillow, so everything's good, right? Right. So sitting down here on my metal chair, which is very, very cold, in a perfect triangle, I want to turn the treble down. And the impact, that real low-end impact, it's not happening here. It's happening over there on the other side of the basement. I will say this, and I'm usually offended by speakers that are, but like my eye level is probably 4 inches below the top of the 590 and 4 inches above the top of this. So I should want to raise it up. Like, that's my thing. I want to see it up. I want treble to be ear level, or even like the image of where the sound's coming from. Fuck the treble. If it sounds like the sound is coming from between those two drivers, and that's the part that should be ear level. And it's doing a thing where it's happening above. It's happening in the right spot. Some speakers just don't pull that off. The 590s are obviously literally tall enough that they're almost ear level with me as it is. This is a set of fluence in the middle. We're not getting to those yet. I'm still doing these vintage ones. I will have to get my microphone recording rig out to do things. But with this, with the very, 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 very efficient amplifier, well, the amplifier is surprisingly good with the Infineon drivers. And these efficient as fuck speakers. And the owner, who listened to them upstairs and listened to them down here, said, are you sure the amp's not fucking with it? Yeah, I'm sure. is a clean amp. We had dual monoblock Emotivas upstairs, which I find a little harsh, a little bit harsh. And then we have this, which I find perfect. So it's just a speaker, it's just the environment carrying over. This is why when you go to a store to buy a speaker, you really got to be careful, because there's a good chance what you hear in the store, which will probably be more like this environment actually. Oh fuck. I gotta let it go one more time and risk the block. Adjusting the Bluetooth volume while I was playing is probably not the best. No, we got a little bit of sparkle happening. That track, this track, 2049 from the Blade Runner 2049, is the only song in my entire 20,000 FLAC tracks that absolutely causes distortion. Like, this will not distort on anything else. That little... I'm amazed it handled it that well, honestly. Because I have clipped speakers and amplifiers and headphones with this track. And I have to blame Hans Zimmer, because he knew what he was doing. This track is designed specifically for like a 5.1 theater that has nothing over 80 hertz going to any speaker. It's all subwoofer. If you try to push this raw track through anything, you're gonna get distortion. Don't believe me? I'm sure it's on fucking Spotify. Didn't I just do this? Oh no. Oh. Like that's perfectly creamy. Perfectly creamy. If you get a lot of cymbals, a lot of highs all the time, you're gonna notice it. But if it's just like a gentle... I can't play any more music. I want to play so much more music. I need to get like a special permission slip from YouTube that I could just play anything I want. I have no idea what I would do with that power. It'd be wild.
Back there in seminary school.
Oh, there's where the bigness happens. That's where, even his vocals, like, yeah, it's Jim Morrison, but he's not like he's Barry White. But even that, the immediate volume pickup is more than my JBL towers. Those are only dual 8s. Those are dual 6.5. Those are dual 8. These are dual 10 with a horn, and you could just tell. I can't even imagine what the 10. The 10s are 10, the 20s are 10s, and the 30s are 12s. I'm gonna ask very nicely. Klipsch send me their RF7s or RMF7s, the big ones. I'm gonna be like, look, send me the big ones. I gotta know, and I'm gonna do exactly like I did with these. I'm gonna start them upstairs. Mostly because it's easier to bring them down here for the end instead of bringing them up there. And I want to sound demo them down here where it's dead. Upstairs will be a fucking nightmare. And I want to see how much of an improvement they make. Because I'm a Klipsch fanboy now. I've been a Klipsch fanboy for a while. RP150M sort of brought me there. Then the Klipsch HP3 headphones are like, oh shit. And then you got the Heresies and you got the 5s, the new 5s. The only thing I've heard bad things about are the Klipsch IEMs, which is like, there's stay in your roundhouse. Like, that's some shit that, you know, someone in China can just do better. Just make giant big speakers. Make them in Alabama. Where do they make them? Alabama? Is it Alabama? Tennessee? I forget. Giant speakers and apparently headphones. They made one spectacular set of headphones, and I'm good with that. My problem with speakers like this from the 90s, if this speaker, and the speaker hasn't been retooled or redone, speakers existed like this in the 90s. There's some flaws. Absolutely, there's some flaws. But this should have been the benchmark shit that every speaker from this on should have been measured against. And I'd say since I started doing this shit in like 2013, that wasn't the case. Most of the speakers are like the original. I'm talking about like the Andrew Jones BS, what was the BS fucking 21s, 22s, and they had the tower versions of those. Yeah, these might have been $1,000 back in the 90s, but it was 15 years later. If you can't beat what these do with imaging and presence in modern times for half the price, half, $500 a pair. These are $1,000 a pair, $5 a pair. You can't do that, don't put out a fucking speaker. I hate when I get something vintage and it's so good, and I just look at things that are just now barely scraping by that fucking line. And I'm like, what the fuck were you doing all this time? Where was your R&D? Fucking drones. My friend brought over his Mavic Mini drone. Bought it immediately. I bought one. Because that shit used to be like, hey, I got a drone. It flies 8 minutes and then it costs $1,000. Now I got this drone. It's $400. Flies a half hour. I can go 2 miles away and it's this big. The fucking scale of progress of a drone should not be that much more than, I mean, speakers is all about physics. But it's a blatant formula of bigger, better. But everyone went small and little, and Bose came up with the little Bose cubes, and fucked the whole world up. Vanuatu and people like that have had to fight back. I would love to see an 8-inch. Vanuatu's this big. Hey, Gary, Vanuatu guys. I want dual 10 with a tweeter, all DSP corrected Vanuatus. I don't care what you charge, 4,000, 5,000, whatever. Stop going small. I want the world to stop being small. As you can see, my downstairs here is quite large, and I'm ready for it. I'm ready for that impact again, because the only speakers you can get with like dual 10s are like the ones that Klipsch sells, and they're like $800 a piece. So I mean, that's not bad, but I gotta know. I'm gonna find out. You like my glass stack, by the way? Those are all the shelves that used to be to the right of my review desk with all the like players and stuff on it. Looks really nice like that. I don't know if it'll hold any weight or just shatter. But all right, I'm done. If you can find a set of these old KLF-10s, I think that's verifying. Yes, I got it right. These old KPH. If you can find a set of them in decent looks, because the cabinets are, you got to keep in mind, they're heavy. They're 65 pounds a piece. And if someone's selling them to you and you can't ship them, you just can't ship them. It's a child's coffin, so you can't ship it. And you have to put another box around it, which would be huge. And then the shipping would be more than the speakers cost. So it's going to be local. But if you can grab a set and they work, I think with just minor room changes, or maybe no room changes. Down here is too good. Upstairs where it was echoey, they sounded fantastic. Phenomenal. Down here it's a little bit more like, hey, I'm gonna fuck you a little bit. Stop clicking. Oh, that's my well water. Next up is going to be these Fluence, which have a downfiring 8, which adds a little bit of a complexity to the way things sound, because now we're talking about, well, we got two 10s, but now you got two 6.5s and then a downfiring 8. Things happen. I want to thank Brandon for bringing these here and then carrying each one of them downstairs. I offered, but I was wearing slippers. And he's like, no, man, I got it. And he carried both of them down here. And then he sat down here and just stared at this R. I don't know what this R is. Receptacle, maybe? That's one of my 2 outlets. There's another outlet over there, and I'm stealing an outlet off of there from like the vacuum. There's no power down here. And the track lights I put up today, because it was just a single bulb over there, and I'm like, this is not gonna work. So now I've got like, ooh, maybe we'll print out some anime waifus for the background, and I'll clean those windows, and we'll catch more fucking spiders. I see you still, spider. You're done. Your days are numbered. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Klipsch, for staying around and actually continuing to make good speakers. I wonder if Klipsch ever had a lull, like a low point. I know they were like a joke for a bit. It was like, oh, Klipsch, you got that Klipsch sound that hurts. But they're still good speakers. Sound demo in the description. I'll have to record that very soon. My microphones and shit are upstairs because spiders don't want to live in my microphone. If you want to support this channel, Patreon subscribe star lets you see these reviews early for $5 a month. You get to ask me any questions on platform, see these reviews early, and then participate in the yard sales. I will not be selling my friend's speakers. I could. Oh, by the way, here are the grills, in case you want to know. You could always tell a 90s speaker because the grill just makes it look fucking terrible. Ta-da! Like, just don't bother. First of all, that is not improving the wife acceptance factor. Giant black box. It doesn't matter. So just fuck that. But yeah, and then the $10 tier gets you into the behind the scenes private Telegram chat, which lets you see these reviews whenever you like. You ready? I'm gonna do it right now. I'm gonna say fuck society. I can't play this song, unfortunately.
Ooh, yeah, fill me up.
I'm glad she got part of this review. Thank you, Pasta, for showing up. But here, we're gonna go, and I'm gonna go to the patronage chat, and I'm gonna take a little video bubble. Hey, everybody in the patronage chat. I'm filming the review for these, and you're all on it. Hi, everybody. So there they get the little message. So if you want to be part of that group, they get shit like that all the time. That's $10 a month, and either subscribe to our Patreon, doesn't matter. Yeah, and don't forget to check out Hi-Fi Guides in the Hi-Fi Guides forum. And thank you all for stopping by. And there's no wallpaper. I'll find a Laffy wallpaper, cause she's adorable. Oh shit! Now I gotta find a Laffy. Zeus, chop chop, Laffy wallpaper in the description. I don't have a screen. It's very difficult. I have no idea what I'm doing yet. Fuck, those windows are not centered. It's throwing the whole acoustics off.